Hi guys, and welcome to Gary G Reviews and to this review of Justice League. So, as you can see, I am in my Supergirl costume, which you can also see on my Instagram and Facebook page down below if you're interested to see me in the whole costume, because here I can only show you, like, if I attempt to get up from the chair, like this part, and that's it. So if you want to see me in my full costume, you just go on Instagram, guys. So Justice League, it is freaking amazing. This is not going to be a spoiler review, at least not for the first part of the review, so I'm going to warn you about spoilers when they come, but for now you're safe. So guys, it's amazing. Kinda brings tears to my eyes when I think about it, because I saw so many things that I wanted to see in this movie, especially related to Superman, which is not a spoiler, just saying. Also, what is not a spoiler, but for those of you that haven't seen the movie, I will only say that in the movie there's a scene that is connected to Superman that is the best thing that I've ever seen in my life. On the big screen in a superhero movie. It is the best scene ever. And I do mean that. It's amazing. So I'm just going to say that, guys. That being said, let's start. So yes, the movie is fast-paced, but to me, as the movie could have used, a lot more minutes, like all the rest of the people say. Yes, I agree with that. The movie could use more time with certain scenes, but for what they did and how they presented all the characters, I thought that it was perfectly understandable, and you can get the perfect and clear as day idea of who is Aquaman, what is he capable of, who is Ezra Miller's character The Flash and what he is capable of, his personality. And of course we already know Wonder Woman, and she is presented very well in the movie. I only wish that her powers could be a little bit more unleashed, how they were in the last part of Wonder Woman. But if we leave that out, I mean, she's perfectly represented, because I did hear complaints about that. So none of that is true, that they shot her butt from down below, that they had a lot of shots directed towards her butt. That is just complete nonsense. I don't know how people could have seen that. Also, there was great time with Cyborg, and you do again get the best idea, who he is. Batman is the best Batman ever, as you know, if you watch my previous reviews. I do think that Ben Affleck does an amazing job. He's just perfect. Everything that he does, how he speaks, and that line, if you saw from the trailers when he spoke to the Flash, get in, get one out, that's it. He delivered that with so much awesome Batman feeling. It's just freaking crazy. I mean, it's so awesome. So the story as a whole, guys, I think that it's pretty decent. The villain, Steppenwolf, yeah, I do see how people are complaining about that, although in my personal view of superhero movies, I don't care about the villains for the most part. I just don't care. I mean, I prefer to see how the heroes are and what kind of a meaning they bring to the world, how they are inspiration, and how they come together to overcome something. And Justice League nailed that element. So Steppenwolf could be just a vase on the street and I probably won't care that much. But his CGI was atrocious, like the CGI that we see in video games, which is perfectly fine for video games, but it's totally not perfectly fine for a movie. It's not like a huge gripe, because at the end of the movie I felt like I am watching a comic book that is alive on screen, so that kind of fit in, if that makes any sense to me. So it was perfectly fine in the end of the movie. So pacing was great, like I've said, although we did get not a lot of time with all the characters in terms of development, because obviously it's not their movie, it's just all of the characters' movie. It's the Justice League. It's not called the Aquaman, how we're going to have, a movie with him anyways. It's not called the Flash movie, it's not called the Batman movie, it's not called the Superman movie, it's not called the Wonder Woman movie, and it's not called Steppenwolf, it's called Justice League. So as for Justice League, as a team, and how they came together and their interactions individually between each other. It was so natural. It was freaking awesome. So many comedic, amazing scenes. And although I was worried that this movie is going to become like a Marvel movie, so funny, it's so light, it's not. It's not that. It's not the same. But again, I don't know if you guys watch me for the first time. You know, some of you may be new viewers. Who knows? So if you haven't seen any of my previous reviews, just for the record, I do think that Marvel movies, although I do like them, I do like all superheroes, and I watch Marvel movies with a lot of pleasure. They, for me, are just like fast food. I see a movie, I just forget about it, even the same day sometimes. And with DC, they just stay with me, they resonate with me, I can feel them, I can feel the substance in them a lot more. And with Justice League, I had this movie in mind. I saw this last night, and until now, middle of the afternoon, Saturday, I can't forget about it at all. It's constantly spinning in my mind right this second, you know, when I talk about it, and even when I don't talk about it. The scenes are just spinning in my mind. I imagine different scenes between Batman and Alfred and all of that. Again, no spoilers. So I'm just saying this movie is very memorable, at least in my mind. And it was really breathtaking, a lot of the scenes, and some of the CGI was pretty awesome, so this does not count for all the CGI. And as you heard, Superman removal of the mustache is an issue visually, at least for me, because it's crazy. I mean, in one scene, this is not a spoiler again, because you know that Superman is in the movie, but in one scene you can see this space between the nose and the lip is higher, and another scene is lower, and other scenes his mouth is just like, you know, moving, and it's his mouth, but it's CGI mouth, and his teeth are CGI. And even his jawline wasn't quite okay. Sometimes his face looked thinner, you know, sometimes his face looked wider. And all of that in this really sucked visually, because I can really see it. But for instance, my mom couldn't see this at all, but I could, because I know the such things, you know. I also work with, not with such visual effects programming, but I have some understanding of all of that. Everything that they showed in this movie, that you saw in the trailer, the Amazons, everything was great. A few gripes here and there about how competent are the Amazons. I do think, and I do feel since I saw Wonder Woman, that they should be more durable than the average human being. For the most part, they seems to be hurt by same things that a human being can be hurt by. Also, them as a warrior unit, that could be also better, and you'll see what I'm talking about when you see the movie. I can't really talk about the whole movie without spoiling it, but let's just say this. Music was great. Music was really great. Not as loud as BVS, not as loud as Man of Steel, because I really like the loudness of the music there, how it's so thunderous and epic. It was toned down a bit. It was, but it was fine. A bit of variation of the Wonder Woman music, but still hers. The Batman music, you'll see, but it's awesome. The whole visual presentation, how the Flash ran, how Aquaman powers were, how Batman looked like. I do think that because there was reshoots of the movie, Ben Affleck does look different in some scenes. Like his neck is literally non-existing in some shots. It seemed like he didn't work out in those scenes at all. His jawline was very profound because his neck was not there, and in other scenes he seems like he has almost a double chin. I'm like, what the heck, Batman? I mean, be in shape all the time, you're Batman. That's minor, guys, you know. I'm just saying what I can say without actually spoiling anything. But a lot of surprises in this movie, I can tell you that. A lot of surprises that were wonderful to see. So it will make you even more excited for the future. I really hope so, that there's going to be like a lot more, and I really hope that this movie is going to be successful so we can have those movies. Stay to the end of the movie because there are 2 end credit scenes. Stay for those scenes because they are worth it. It's not like, again, I have to compare, because I was very frustrated the last maybe 5 times in a Marvel movie when I had to wait for a scene. That Marvel scenes are just not substantial. You can go without them. You can see them or not see them, and it's just not going to make a whole lot of difference. Especially the Thor end credit scenes. I couldn't care less about them. But here, they give you two two great things, and they're not even that short. I mean, the first is kind of short, but you know, the second one is kind of longer, and it's awesome. I was like, what? Yeah, you know, like a total geek. So the waiting was totally worth it, guys. Ah, awesome. And everything with Superman is tear dropping. At least how I felt, because everything with Superman just gets me so emotional in a positive way. So yeah, but his hairy chests are a lot in the camera. That's not a spoiler. So hairy. It's just so not aesthetic. I don't know how many times I can say that, but it's just disgusting to me, honestly. To see Superman hairy like that, with the hairy chest exposed on the screen and in a close-up so many times, it's freaking... why? Like, why? It's terrible. And Lois looked kind of different as well in this movie. But that's it, guys. I mean, music great, characters interaction amazing, amazing lines, amazing comedy, like super great comedy. I heard that some people said it just didn't land. I mean, some jokes didn't land, but it's not true. It's awesome. It's awesome. Just can't stress this enough. Alfred and Batman, awesome. Batman on his own and the Bat Signal and all of that music, awesome. Jim Gordon, although he was very little in the movie, totally awesome. Just amazing. I was savoring every second of this movie. Do you understand, guys? I was savoring everything that I see on screen, because it was so cool that I can see those characters on the big screen, and in the same time they were presented amazing to me. It is what I want to see. It is that feeling of the DC animations. It's literally that feeling. So great. Story was great enough, and everything else that I can say is just spoilers. Although the movie could be longer, and I would love to see more and more and more and more, and I would love to see extended cut of this movie. Oh god, let it be an extended cut. How the movie was made for 2 hours, it was very, very satisfactory to me. It didn't feel rushed, actually. A lot of people say it's rushed. I know that there could be more scenes, that there some things were cut out, but they put everything so well together that it's perfectly understandable, and I know how they went to that point at the end of the movie. I understood everything, and the pace was perfect for that. It was perfect for that. A lot of movies that I watched, because they're very slow paced, and all of a sudden, oh, this is the end, and this is the final show now, and we end. This time it wasn't like that. This was very fast paced at the beginning, but very well structured. You know, you can see Wonder Woman, what she's doing, interactions with Batman, Aquaman, you know, other interactions with the other characters, and then how they come together and all of that. So it was perfectly fast paced, but in that fast pace you are given enough information to get to know everybody and to really feel their dynamic and how they thinking when they're together and all of that. So it was perfectly paced to me, considering what they had to do, and as a movie as a whole also. So perfectly satisfactory, guys. I would love to see it again. I wanted to see it again at the second that it was over. I know that that was not possible, but I wanted to see it again so bad. So from the scale of 1 to 10, as a superhero movie, I will give Justice League a very, very solid 9 out of 10, and I'm only taking 1 point because I want to see the extended cut with more scenes of the movie. I just need more, but other than that, it's totally 9 out of 10. And if I don't consider that, there's probably a longer cut of the movie, it's 10 out of 10. If I don't consider this, if I don't know this at all, I would say it's 10 out of 10, but because I do know that there's a lot of things that could be cut into a longer version, that longer version would be 10 out of 10. So that is the only reason why I'm giving this movie a 9 out of 10, guys. So that is it. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to talk about now some of the things that I want to talk about, some spoilers. So if you don't want to hear them, thank you, and you can check out the links down below if you want to support me, and my t-shirt store and my social media. Till next time. So guys, first thing I want to talk about is that flash scene with Superman. You know how Superman was beating everybody and they tried to hold him down, but they couldn't because he's so strong. He's so freaking strong. It's awesome. He was like, holding, Aquaman, Wonder Woman at the same time. And they're like, go around him, Flash. And Flash is like, yeah. And Superman is like, with that look. I mean, he caught him, he can see him in that moment between time. He can see the Flash, and Flash was so surprised. He was like, what? It was the best moment ever. That was what I was talking about. This was the best moment in superhero movie history to me. This was laugh out loud, extremely strong, because you can see how Superman is, how strong he is, and how badass he is when he doesn't care. When he doesn't care, he can kill everything. He can beat everybody when he's unleashed, you know. And he hold back just a bit to not snap everybody's neck because he was very frustrated. He did hold back, because otherwise Wonder Woman will be in two pieces right now with the Croc skull. But wow, and Aquaman will probably be at the end of the ocean with one stroke. He did get a very severe punch from Superman, and Batman would have had his face broken. You know, he was holding him like this. Batman was like, and then when Lois came, and Superman just, whoop, no, he threw him like behind his back, like, like he was a napkin or something. Whew. Oh, so great. So I enjoyed every moment with Superman and Lois. I am glad that they filmed a lot more with Superman, because when you think about how many scenes were with him and that awkward mouth, that was almost every scene with him, excluding the part when he came back to life and he was fighting the other heroes. There he was himself with his own mouth, but all the rest of the scenes were with that awkward mouth, which leaves me to believe that everything new that was shot was essential, because otherwise we will get like 2 seconds of Superman probably, and that would suck terribly. Just terribly. How Superman was brought to life. For me, I expected him to be brought to life either by Steppenwolf, like there were rumors, or maybe that was the original idea, or I don't know, or brought back on its own, because as we see, the dirt rose from his coffin at the end of BVS. But I do think that he was already recovering in the coffin. He was just not decaying at all. He did not have a huge gap, a huge hole in his chest left by Doomsday's spikes. Superman came and let a beat down on Steppenwolf. That was so great. He released his breath and froze Steppenwolf's axe. So great, guys. So awesome. And of course, that end credit scene when he raised the Flash, but we didn't see the outcome. But that was so awesome. It was just classic. They tried to run and it just ends with something like that. Tears in my eyes, guys. Tears. It was what I want to see. And again, Lex Luthor and Deathstroke, great. And Lex Luthor didn't seem to be speaking like he spoke previously, with aneurysms. So I think that's better. He was still himself, but just not so over the top, which I think is the great balance. Maybe prison made him, toughen up and not behave like a crazy evil child so much, which is going to be a great twist. I mean, a great way of continuing his character, and that would make sense if prison somehow made him more tough. So now he's just not, hey, he's not acting like that. So that's gonna be great. And like I said, the Amazon should be more competent. How they handle the boxes and how they fight, they just should be more strong, and their arrows should be special. They could be able to harm somebody. Those arrows should be from the gods. So they should also be able to pierce the flesh of someone like Steppenwolf, in my opinion. But no, they were just like regular wooden arrows, which doesn't make any sense. Other than that, Hippolyta was marvelous and womanly as ever. She was awesome, although she was very briefly on screen, but that's understandable. I'm just saying that she was perfect for how she was in the movie. Stronger weapons, forged from Hephaestus. That should be the case, like Wonder Woman's bracelets. Although they did establish that they have special weapons, and all of those special weapons, like the lasso, the shield, the sword, all of that Wonder Woman took. I did want it so bad for those weapons to have some more strength, because they should be. How are the Amazons left on Earth to protect it when they can't. And last time when they had to fight Steppenwolf, the gods were fighting alongside of them because otherwise they would have lost. Just, you know, kind of pathetic. So they are already established as kind of weak, so that's unfortunate. And we see Green Lantern, how Green Lantern also fought in this battle for Earth and he died, so the ring went somewhere else to look for another person. So probably there were like 5, 10s, 12s, 100 Green Lanterns before Hal Jordan or whoever they choose to be Green Lantern on the big screen. So that is it, guys. Pretty much what I want to talk about. I'm very disappointed by all the rest of the reviews that I watched because they said so many things that are not true. Like the Schmoes said that there were very interesting, funny moments between Superman and the Flash sprinkled throughout the movie. What? There were like few scenes with the Flash and Superman that was freaking amazing, but they were not sprinkled throughout the movie. They were at the end of the movie. At the end of the movie. That was so awesome when Superman was like, Slowpoke, he called him a snail or Slowpoke, whatever it was, the Flash, and he was like, just go to the left, I'm going to the right, or something like that. And Superman was, carrying a whole building filled with people, and the Flash is just pushing this car, saving his first family, and Superman's like, ta-da, carrying the building. It's the best. It is the best. So I hope that now everybody's going to be happy with Superman. I like him as he was before, but now he does feel more like the old Superman. Although the difference is not that, it's the same Superman, but he's just a bit more funny, you can say. But other than that, this feels perfectly natural, so it doesn't feel like he's forced to be funny or that he's totally changed. He's the same Superman. You can say he sees life with different eyes, and he now had a lot more time to feel his ability, so he's just coming back a lot more confident in himself. So that's why he's allowed to be a little bit less stressed out. That is what I take from this. So guys, there's a lot of things that could be said about Justice League movie, but it is great and I can't wait to see it again. I am gonna have the Blu-ray because I must. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Do you like the movie? What you thought about the movie? Let's have a civil discussion down below. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time with Gary G Reviews.